Pretty early on, Jabra were one of the few companies that actually produced a viable AirPods alternative. But as the likes of Samsung and Beats have caught up in recent months, it's getting harder and harder to recommend their true wireless earbuds. So it makes sense that here at IFA 2019, Jabra's announced a follow-up. They're called the Elite 75Ts, and while they don't really change too much about Jabra's earphones, there's enough small incremental changes to make them a really good upgrade. Now, full disclosure, Jabra has provided us with a really early sample of the Elite 75Ts, but they're not a working sample, they don't produce any sound. So whilst we can talk about their features and their fit and their feel, we can't say anything about how these earbuds actually sound. That said, given Jabra's history of producing earbuds that do sound really good, we still think they're really interesting. Let's get into top line specs. Now, Jabra is claiming that you'll get 7.5 hours of listening out of the earbuds themselves for a total of 28 hours when you include the charging case. That's about a 50% improvement over the 65Ts. Now, that's not quite as good for our top pick for the best true wireless earbuds out there at the moment, which is the Beats Powerbeats Pro, which gives you about 9 hours or so, but it compares favorably to like the AirPods or Sony's true wireless earbuds, which will give you 5 hours and 6 hours respectively. So if we turn our attention to the case, not only does you get slightly better battery life, it's also a little bit smaller, and finally it charges over USB-C, which is pretty much a given in 2019, but I'm still really thankful to see Jabra do it. Oh, and the inside of the case, the little I'm gonna call them cradles, where you put the earbuds, they're now magnetic, which just makes it slightly easier to put them in and means they don't fall out quite as easily. Now, the old Jabras, as well as having bad battery life and charging over micro USB, they're also kind of big and bulky, and not only was that just plain annoying, but it meant that people with, I guess, smaller ears found them really uncomfortable. So the big thing that Jabra's happy about this time is they've made them smaller. They've said 20% smaller, which should hopefully mean that they'll fit in a much wider range of ears. Now I'm Captain Average. I have completely average sized ears and everything just seems to fit them just fine. I didn't have a problem with the previous Jabras, but I know someone who believes deep in their heart that Jabra's old earbuds were just plain too big. So I'm going to ask her what she thinks of the Elite 75Ts and whether they've actually solved that problem once and for all.
All right, John, here goes nothing. Oh, tell me it isn't so. Oh, damn.
But fit isn't just about comfort. And Jabra reckons that by having better fit, you should also get better sound quality by having a better seal against your ear canal. Unfortunately, we can't verify this ourselves, so we'll have to wait for the final earbuds to actually tell. Now, it's a real shame we can't listen to these earbuds ourselves, because I have a lot of questions about them, not just in terms of sound quality, but also in terms of how well they maintain their connection with a phone, because smaller earbuds mean less space for things like a Bluetooth antenna, and that's really important when you want to maintain a good connection with a phone. Now, Jabra claims it's found a neat little workaround where it runs the antenna around the top of the earbud right here, but we just don't know how this is going to work in real world use. And the bigger problem is that whilst I think Jabra seems to have done a really good job of catching up with the competition, in recent years the competition has been moving on at a breakneck pace. You know, features like wireless charging and active noise cancellation are becoming more and more important as time goes on, and these aren't things that the Jabra Elite 75T supports. Jabra does say that it's going to add a new wireless charging model next year, and I think that's a really good move, especially as we see so many rumors about the iPhones this year support bidirectional charging, which then in future, in theory, will be able to charge these earbuds. So Jabra's finally competitive again in 2019, and if these earbuds are able to sound as good as Jabra's previous earbuds, then it might just have itself another really compelling AirPods alternative. Until, I guess, the market moves on again, which, to be honest, with the breakneck pace that the true wireless earbuds market has been moving in recent years, might not be that long at all. So the Jabra Elite 75Ts are going to be available in mid-October in the US for $199, or in the UK for 189 Great British pounds.